Welcome to Extra. I'm Joanne Hines.
And I'm Georgia Lash. Here at Extra, we bring you expanded coverage of recently broadcast features from Sun City TV.
In this episode of Extra, we're closing out 2023 and leading into 2024.
We're wrapping up our SCTV shows like presents under the tree.
Now, since holidays are the time of togetherness, let's start with presenting you with stories from our program block called Community Connection.
With everything that goes on in and around Sun City, we often have an opportunity to bring you special reports. You'll find these in, as Joanne said, Community Connection. Turns out our Sun City viewers are hungry for this information, resulting in some of our highest rated programming. For example, we recorded Councilman Joe Passament giving thousands of viewers a look into current and future development within a 5-mile radius of Sun City. Here's a look in case you missed it. Low Country Happenings is a registered group which gives our residents an opportunity to learn more about what's going on in Beaufort County, but also in the surrounding communities of the Low Country. Tonight's topic, Joe.
Tonight's topic is what's happening around Sun City, and I've only gone 5 miles in every direction because a lot of people don't go that very far anymore. A lot of people do. A lot of people work in Beaufort or go to Hilton Head Island, but I'm going to concentrate 5 miles in every direction.
So this is the big D, the development.
Yeah.
All right. So if I were to put you on the spot and say, can you preview this for us as maybe like good news, bad news, or maybe a little mixture of both?
Well,
what can you share?
It's a little mixture of both. It's what's coming and how we're going to deal with it.
Have we got some for sure's?
Oh, yeah. Because of where we live, where we work, and where we play. It's all about those 3 words, everything we do. So, I want to talk about what's in the 5-mile radius. North, south, east, and west. I just took this 5-mile radius. If you're going down 278 west, just straight shot down 278, come out the front gate, go straight down. Within 5 miles, you're at Margaritaville. You know how Margaritaville is growing. Margaritaville is our Sun City's greatest competition for new residents. Are they equal to us? No. Will they ever be equal to us? No. Why? Because we have more land than they do. We have started before they did. If you are going the other way on 278, 5 miles from here is the Belfair Shopping Center. It has Truffles, Kroger, IHOP. Okay, people go there all the time. It's a pain to get in and it's a pain to get out. Publix, if you are now going down 170 to the 46th Circle, that's just about 5 miles away. It's actually 4.4 miles away. That's the new Publix. That's the Riverside Shopping Center that is growing. And then when you go on the other side and you are going not May River Road, but down to the back there, there's the Haven, there's the Village Homes, there's the Landings, there's other developments going on. The May River High School, they're going to put another new school there. You can get to Palmetto Bluff that back way. That's growing. Now, if you go the other direction, north, John Paul II is 4.4 miles away. Now, just JP2 is the Catholic school that's on the high school that's on the left-hand side when you're going towards the city of Beaufort.
SCTV reports on the issues you care about. We've had a triple-decker of coverage of the impending road improvements, the Triangle Project. The latest update was at First Friday.
So the Triangle Project, what is it specifically? So we started on SC 170, and if you go all the way to the top, that's at 462 when you go towards the interstate there, and just down past 278 to it's not Del Webb, but right here at Oakity Center South where the Food Line entrance in. So that's what we started with, and we said, you know what, we're doing all this work because we know that 170 needs improvements, but we hear a lot about Argent Boulevard, we hear a lot about 278. If you're going to do a project, the project is the same whether you've got a $10 million project or a $100 million project. So why don't we kind of look at this all together rather than do one project, then wait a couple of years, do another project, wait another couple of years, do another project. So why don't we put it all together? So we said, okay, let's look at the 3 roads, so 170 and then 278 back to Argent Boulevard, and then Argent Boulevard from 278 to 170. And about 2 years ago, we said, let's get started with the short-term projects. We went into design, we went through the permitting process, and during this past summer, we went through the construction process. The interesting thing is, and this does not happen very often, is DOT had a planned project in the area that they were going to do some resurfacing, basically from on top of the bridge to the first bridge there at Oakity River. Some of the asphalt's getting old and raveling. And they said, we're going to do that project, but we're going to do it in 2 years. We're like, it wouldn't be great if we did our project and then you come back later. Can we just put it together? So timeline, what does that look like? Over the next year or 2 years, there's a good chance that these are installed in some form or fashion. However, some of them are moving faster than others.
You can watch these shows at your convenience on our Sun City TV YouTube channel, and it's even easier if you scan this QR code, which takes you right there.
In Community Connection, we also bring you our sit-downs with distinguished guests, like area legislators and renowned authors.
Senator Davis, let's start off with the congratulations as Legislator of the Year. Thank you so much for what you do for our community.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it.
You outlined for us today that you have 6 priorities for 2024. You spend a lot of time here in Sun City with us. You know us. Of all those 6, which do you think really you're hoping for that impacts our kind of demographic?
I need to bring some further relief in regard to our road system down here. Whether you're talking about Argent Boulevard, which is extremely dangerous, more signalization for more points of ingress and egress into Sun City, a widening of roads in general, repaving. It's just too dangerous out there. And you've got people taking their lives into their hands, pulling out into medians and trying to hit brakes in traffic, and it's just too dangerous. So I think the number 1 priority is continuing to bring some state dollars down to assist with those highway improvements. And I think the second thing I would say is we need to do something about controlling overdevelopment and the taking down of trees and cutting in of lots and building of homes and just simply increasing densities. We've already got a road system that's extremely burdened. Quality of life is already being diminished as growth occurs, and so we really need to get our arms wrapped around that. The green space law that was put into place, collecting a penny for a 2-year period to raise $100 million to purchase up green space. I think that's going to have a material impact, and I hope that the people of Beaufort County see some value in that, because I want to go back in future years and renew that penny sales tax, 35 to 40% of which is paid for by tourists. And so if we don't do something about it, we can sit back and do nothing and let the number of rooftops in southern Beaufort and southern Jasper County double. And just stop and think about what your roads would look like and what our environment would look like if we double the number of rooftops. We can't let that happen.
Right. Well, thank you for the initiatives you're taking. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today.
Yes, ma'am. My pleasure.
Rob, we know Maury from reading about him. Can you amplify the Maury that you grew up with?
Absolutely. First, I want to say it's such a pleasure to be here in Sun City, such a beautiful community, and I'm really happy to present to this particular community this book, which I think is so valuable. So the Maury that I grew up with, I get this question a lot, and he was a really fantastic dad. There's a lot of stories from my youth, from my childhood, and one of them, because the kids never appreciate what they have. That's just across the board, right? When you're a little kid, you think everything in the world for everybody is just like you, right? You never think, wow, other people have a very different experience than me. You never think that. So my father was a professor of sociology at Brandeis University, and he was absolutely beloved by his students. It's not an exaggeration. He really was. And I know this because they used to come up to me all the time and say, oh my God, your father is amazing. I mean, literally every time I was on campus, this happened. Your father is amazing, and I wish I had a father like him. And as a little kid, you know, you always have these tiny little frustrations and everything. And I would always think to myself, like, oh, you don't really know, you know, he's whatever.
You didn't see him at breakfast this morning.
Exactly. He didn't give me this, or he didn't do this.
Now, the book, The Wisdom of Mor,
Yes.
is actually something your dad was working on, and you worked on it with him for a short period of time, and as things happen, it got stored away. It was really, after his passing, kind of left behind, and you found the manuscript.
That's right.
So how did you come to the decision that this should be published?
Okay, so first I got to rewind the tape because it's not exactly correct. I didn't work on the book with my father. This is my father's book. He wrote it from the first word to the last word. What happened was I was at home during a period. Most of the time he was writing the book, I was living by myself, working. I even moved overseas, and I'll talk about that in the presentation. But there was a 3-month period where I was in Boston. It's the last time I ever lived with my parents. And this is like one of the periods he was working on the book very intensely. So I got to speak with him and exchange ideas and listen to it. I was a very young man at the time. I was in my 20s, my early 20s, but he was still interested in how I perceived his ideas and what I thought that people would be able to relate to and would help them. So we had a big exchange, but it's completely his book. He's the author. I wouldn't say I worked on it at that time. So that's correct, what you said. He worked on this book from 1988 to 1992. Then he started to get ill. That's very well known.
Right.
Tuesdays with Maury. He got ALS. It was a fatal disease. Mitch came back and, you know, spoke with him and was able to write this incredible book, Tuesdays with Maury, afterwards. And this manuscript, which is now The Wisdom of Mor, was put into a desk drawer and stayed there for easily 10 years or more. And I was traveling back and forth between Japan and Boston. I was living in Tokyo as a journalist, and I was in my father's study one day working, writing as I do, and I pulled open the desk drawer and I found the manuscript.
We always say our mission at SCTV is to highlight our lifestyle. One of SCTV's most endearing special story efforts documents Sun City's commencement. Joanne, take us back in time.
I will. How often have you thought how we are so lucky to live in this slice of paradise? Sun City TV just produced a show that documents Sun City's early days with some of our neighbors that were here from the very beginning.
In October, Low Country Snapshot showcases a look back at Sun City Hilton Head. Here, early Sun City residents recount an historical perspective of how our community and our clubs were developed.
The Wilders, they started a tennis club here.
The ceramics, the sewing. I play golf.
I even started book club too.
So I've been the bike club since day one.
A look back at Sun City Hilton Head.
Del Webb had a vision for which all of us are grateful.
A huge reason living in Sun City is so great is our club life. From avant-gardeners to volleyball, we have an alphabet of club choices. Our cameras try to catch our Sun City clubs in action. Here at Extra and Community Connections, we bring you more of the stories that go on. Look for club special reports like Car Show, Creative Vision, and the Synchronet Show. Most recently, we produced a theater special report.
Hello, I'm Eileen Waite. Some of you know me, some of you may not, but I am delighted to have the opportunity to direct Fiddler on the Roof, the coming production in March of this year.
Good evening. My name is Dame Agatha Christie. I'm here tonight to invite you to the upcoming Sun City Community Theater production of one of my greatest stories, Murder on the Orient Express. Let me set the scene for you. Imagine a bustling train station on a snowy night in Istanbul. Soon, the famous Orient Express train is hurtling its way across Europe.
Hello, I'm Skip Corris, and I am going to be directing the touching and hilarious Savannah Sipping Society. It's about 4 women of a certain age who find themselves at difficult places in their lives in Savannah. It'll be presented at Pinckney Hall in August. In today's world, if a guy and a girl want to meet, they've got a wide range of applications on the internet to help them connect. But 100 years ago, they had to rely on the Lonely Hearts advertisements to find somebody that they could correspond with anonymously. And this is the basis for the storyline of She Loves Me.
I am not Phil Mastman. But Phil Mastman will be directing the final show of 2024 season called Almost Maine. He describes it as a whimsical story about magical moments and people who have become excited by the prospects of love. We'll have an opportunity to see Phil in the video.
It's often a privilege to create our SCTV special coverage. Just this past month, our Sun City Veterans Association provided our residents with a plethora of events, from music to marching, to celebrate those who served our country. Here's what you may have missed.
We are here for a beautiful concert this evening. Lots of people already coming in. I understand, Don, that you start each new season with a salute to our veterans, and here you are. How did that tradition get started?
When the band was formed in 2014, it was October, so we didn't have time to prepare a program. We actually did one in the spring, but in the following November, we put together a Veterans Day concert. And to me, the veterans need all of the honoring that we can give them. And if you notice, the title of the program is Saluting America's Veterans, Roman numeral 8, because it's the 8th consecutive year that we've done this program for our veterans. I'm particularly fond of the veterans, and one of the reasons I wanted to do a veterans program every year, my dad was a World War II veteran, flew 48 missions as a B-24 ball turret gunner, and I always think of all of our veterans, past, present, and always, as our heroes forever.
I think you're doing it fabulously, and thank you for including Sun City in that. Now, any veterans in the group?
We have several veterans, not only veterans from our group, but this year we have two current members of the Paris Island Marine Band who are playing with us as well that we will recognize and introduce during the program tonight.
Well, we can't wait to hear the performance. Again, thank you for coming to Sun City to do this. It's an honor for our veterans, but it's an honor to have you here as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, Mitch, it's a great day here finally. Got good weather for a Veterans Affair, and tell us what all is going to go on today.
Well, this is an exciting day. The weather is cooperating with us. We're starting off with the 9:15 opening ceremonies. We have the color guard here. Then we're fortunate enough to have the Sun Tone singing the national anthem, and then the troop songs, and then we're going to play. We've got 3 games, 6 teams. All the teams are made up of veterans, including some of the umpires.
That's great. And this is strictly for exhibition, strictly in honor of the veterans, right?
Strictly for an honor of the veterans. We're started with the Toys for Tots. The boxes are getting filled up right now. And, we're looking to have a really, really good day. Hoping a lot of people come out and enjoy themselves. Free hot dogs today and everything.
I knew
else.
You'd mention that sometime.
Yeah, it's free hot dogs. Anytime you mention the word free, people will show up. And, I want to thank my fellow board members that have helped out to do a lot of the things. And without them, I couldn't have really done this. Without having the confidence in me to make sure that this got done. So I give a shout out to them. So I think it's going to be a great day, and hopefully, this is one of the things that I continually do all the time. You and I get together, we celebrate the veterans, and we celebrate the Toys for Tots. So,
well, you do a great job of organization, and we're looking for a great day, some good softball, and By the way, free hot dogs and Toys for Tots, wreaths across America. It's all good.
It's all good. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Today is November 11th, a day that since World War I has been recognized to honor our military, originally known as Armistice Day and since 1954 as Veterans Day. We are so privileged here in Sun City to have our own recognition here at Magnolia Hall, organized by our Sun City Veterans Association to honor our friends and neighbors here in Sun City who are our hometown heroes who've given their sacrifice to our country.
And now for our favorite segment, Extra Special. We're going to finish up with one more recognition of our beloved Sun City veterans. Georgia, you have that story.
People magazine might claim a Man of the Year in its own way, but who better to be the coverman on the Veterans Day program than our own Sun City Color Guard? It's time to give them their turn in the spotlight.
What a privilege it is to be sitting here with the Sun City Color Guard. What a pleasant afternoon we're going to have listening to the personalities behind the precision they always demonstrate. Let's start with introductions.
I'm Bill Field, Color Guard Commander.
Frank Steffen, proud member of the Color Guard.
Chuck Ringa, I'm the rookie.
Paul Lewis, member of the Color Guard.
Mark Stafford, another proud member of this fine Color Guard.
Dan Peters. Doug Hines, longest serving member of the Color Guard.
Dave Griffiths, past commander of the Sun City Color Guard and the second oldest member of the Color Guard.
Steve Root, proud member of the Color Guard.
We've brought all these gentlemen together and we're giving them a task. We're going to ask them questions about this service that they so boldly perform for us. What are the responsibilities of the Color Guard?
The Color Guard presents the colors and the flags of each of the services at public events and at private services, that's funerals and such. We not only provide this service for Sun City, because we certainly spend many times at the ball field. We go off campus and we're requested for color guards at Beaufort National Cemetery, in other ball field situations where the police were playing the fire department in Hardyville, and we've been requested as far as Hampton. So the Color Guard has many responsibilities, and what we do is, in a military fashion, we present the colors for the national anthem, and then we retire the colors so their ceremony can go on.
Are there any particular requirements to be a member of the Color Guard?
Well, first of all, you have to be a former member of the U.S. military, any service. And secondly, you have to know your left from your right so you can march appropriately and be able to take orders from our commanders.
How much of a time commitment is involved?
Well, I don't think there's very much of a time commitment. We do a lot of practicing, and we do a lot of, color guard ceremonies. For me, I think it's such an honor to be a member that no time is too much time.
What inspired you to join the Color Guard?
When I moved down here to Sun City, I wanted to be part of the Veterans Association, and that was my goal. And then, after a little bit, I wanted to be more part of a team where you work together. And a good friend of mine, Steve Root, he's a member of the Color Guard. He kind of led me into this position, and it's been an honor ever since.
I wanted to display my patriotism for this beautiful and wonderful country that I served in the United States Army, and I wanted to carry on the tradition and the patriotism involved with this wonderful group of fellas that I am a member of.
In approximately how many events does the Color Guard participate in?
Originally, there were 3 events that they did a year. Over the years, since David was commander, we have done as many as 18 events a year. In Sun City, there's Memorial Day, Flag Day, Veterans Day, 9/11, and the ball field. But this color guard has a wonderful reputation, and we are asked to go outside and do a lot of events.
How would you describe the relationship you have with your fellow color guard members?
Yes, when I think about our club and our group, and specifically the color guard, I think it's much different than any other clubs we have here in Sun City. We consider ourselves brothers. We're comrades. We care for each other. We laugh with each other. And we cry sometimes. But it's one of the best clubs we have here in Sun City.
You've been a long-standing member of the color guard. What have been the best experiences that you can describe?
Well, I'm not the oldest, but my friend here, Doug Hines, he is the oldest. He's probably got 18 years in. I have 17 years in. And I consider this color guard one of the best in the Low Country. We do a lot of events during the course of a year. At one point here, we were doing maybe 23 or 24 events a year. Before that, they were probably doing only 3 events a year. But I think it's a great club. And I joined the color guard because back home I was a sergeant at arms of my volunteer fire department for 26 years. And I was involved with the American Legion along with my friend Billy Field. We did the color guard back there together, the firing squad. And when I moved down here, that was one of the first things I did was join the vets. And within 2 weeks, I was commander of the color guard. Thank you very much.
Now, can you recall any special moments from any of the past events in which the color guards participated?
One special moment that I had, we were presenting the colors for the national anthem for the 4th of July ceremony on the island, Palmetto Dunes. And I happened to be on the bugle that day. And I brought the bugle up to play it. The mouthpiece fell off, hit my foot. I knew that then, but we went right along. Nobody knew it, not even our commander. When it was over, I bent over, got the mouthpiece, and we went on.
Well, we've learned some secrets and some very, very great moments that this group has had. Let's close out by saying, at the Veterans Day ceremony, Commander Davis named the color guard the face of the Veterans Association. Now we know why. Let's close out with Bill Field, the commander of the color guard. Bill, if you've got any words that you'd like to share or like to add for this fine group of men that are sitting here.
Thank you, Georgia. I've been in the color guard for 12 years. I have been color guard commander for 1 year now. These are the finest men I can think of to do the job they're asked to do. There's never a time that I've asked this group of men for a job and we've been turned down. So I can't be happier to be a representative of these fine men.
That's extra for December and January. I'm Joanne Hines.
And I'm Georgia Lash. Thank you for watching. Please join us again in February as we bring you extra coverage of stories and features from Sun City TV. You can always catch us on cable and on our YouTube station, where we invite you to subscribe for easy viewing. Happy holidays!